Your greatest asset isn't how much money you have or your house. It's you. You matter, and you're awesome. Don't fight us on this one. Ask your friends. Visit betterhelp.com/roast and take care of number one with some online therapy because you deserve to invest in your greatest asset, you. And speaking of great assets, I have to say, I'd love to start the episode off with a big up to a big moose. Nene Leakes has put her $2.1 million home in Georgia on sale for $4.1 million after doing some extensive renovations. I now realize why that heifer never had any art on her walls. She wanted to keep that place showroom new so it was ready to sell. She said, I'm going to live in my tax shelter for as long as I choose. And then when it's time to sell, I'll have an extra $2 million to play with. Nene Leakes, I'm proud of you on this one.
Wow, we starting the episode with a Nene compliment. Wow, like Mercury is in retrograde, right? Wow. Okay, so we're doing this today. Okay, so we do have a lot of Atlanta stories today. We could start out with Nene. She's been in that house for a while, like since season 10. I started watching season 10, and you know, I really took it for granted because Real Housewives of Atlanta is real shit now. Absolute, like that last season was awful.
Oh, it was. I mean, they just should have said, we'll come back after COVID when we could get an actual plan, because Porsha supposedly having sex with a stripper and Kenya bashing a single woman for having sex. That's your plot line in 2021? That's all you can come up with? Right. I mean, maybe they should have had a little more OLG gang and plot line in there. Like, you know, Candy got all those. Get Mama Joyce in here for the mess.
Right.
Mama Joyce would have been happy to show up.
And we got our first confirmation this past week, Cynthia. Like, she said what we all knew. She decided to leave, basically. But I think she was fired.
I think that she wasn't asked back. This season, I could see her offering, I could see them saying, look, we're not closing the door on working with you. I could see her, like Porsha, you know, finding another Bravo avenue to work on. I think that they still want to maybe have her pop in as a friend of the show, who's, you know, the level-headed one.
Speaking of that, the news just dropped, actually, that Cynthia Bailey said to E! that she was offered a friend role for season 14, but she declined the offer.
Yeah, I could see them saying, we'll wean you off as a friend. But I also feel like once you're a friend and you've been on there, once you're demoted to friend, you're never getting back to full time. And it's just them easing you off like, okay, you need one more paycheck. We're going to give you one more check. We ain't going to put you on the cold. We know you to plan some housing improvements for next year, and we're going to mess up your budget. We don't want to do that.
Well, with Sheree and Countess Luann, you know, like they used to be friends and they got back on the show in full time. So it's possible.
It is. I didn't know Luann was a friend.
Yeah, they demoted her to friend. This was season 5 of New York. She got demoted to friend, 5 or 6.
And she hung on?
Yeah, because you know that don't be all uncool. That's when she got back on.
Oh.
Right.
Wow. I could see Luann being too proud to be a friend of the show. But I guess any camera time for her is better than none at all.
Exactly. But back to Atlanta. So Cynthia at least has a show coming out. I believe it's going to be in, I want to say late fall. It's the Housewives Girls Trip. So there's that for her.
Ooh.
And then Porsha, you know, she just made her exit announcement, and I think she actually quit. Like, 'cause I think they really wanted her back. A lot of people are upset, but it just makes sense. Like, she didn't want to be Kenya's plotline.
No, she didn't. And it was a new fragile marriage. And also she's got the Clubhouse. And the Clubhouse is doing well. And I could see her saying, look, I'm going to leave Dish Nation and be over here and be talent on this. but now I want to kind of move my career away from the housewives into much more of a TV personality rather than just a reality star.
Right. And then she gets a spinoff too, where she gets to tell her story on her terms without, worrying about Kenya bringing on one of Simon's mistresses.
Yep. Because Kenya would have been on her. I mean, she has been for the past decade. I think that she said, I need a little moment off.
So Sheree and Marlo, I heard, basically together, that was Cynthia's salary.
Oh, and now we're going to have Broke Sheree and the very interesting John Amos. At least John Amos will get with you. At least she will get with you. Sheree, I feel like she rarely gets off a good read because of that marble mouth. And also bone carrying. It's like, y'all never get mad at Sheree and read her and hold her feet to the fire. You just let the information she gives you tick you off rather than realizing you didn't need to tell that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, why y'all telling Sheree anything? You know you can't tell her nothing. She gonna spread it.
I'm really curious what her plot line is going to be. Basically, the felon again, and...
Oh, God. I mean, we could watch her pretend to date men. She's not very good at it, but we could watch her pretend to do that. But then again, Giselle can't do that. These ladies can't seem to find men that want to be on the show. I mean, you can't find a decent hobosexual, clean him up and put him on the camera. And he goes home every night like Juan Dixon goes home every night, because one of our astute viewers pointed out that in the beginning of the season, when Robin was in bed, the half the bed was made up. And she said, oh, I'm supposed to believe Juan got up and made his side of the bed.
That is such a good observation.
And that is like, once you make that observation, it's really difficult to say, oh, well, maybe it was just that night. Like, no. And they have a big bed, so it was very unmade.
I heard they added another housewife to Atlanta. It's going to be Akon's wife.
That is the one rumor I'm like, I don't know if that one's true, because Akon kind of keep his business out the street. But if that is true, then we'll hopefully get to see some more real money.
Yes. But yeah, any news coming from like B. Scott as it pertains to the Real Housewives of Atlanta has been true so far. This one is Akon's wife is Rosina, Jesus Christ, Neguse. She'll be filming with the ladies, and she's good friends with Sheree.
Okay, good friends with Sheree. So we're starting with lies, because Sheree has no friends, and especially no rich friends. Now, if she met somebody down at the food stamp place, maybe the lady that works behind the counter, I would agree, because they're committing fraud together. You know she shops with stamps. I mean, she's been a scammer since way back. Remember, she got arrested in Ohio before she lucked up on Bob. She scammed them contractors, put the house in her mama name. So I'm sorry, stamps ain't above her. And nothing wrong with food stamps, but stealing them, that's what we're saying is wrong. And she will walk in there with an Hermes purse and commit fraud. She took out a $20,000 PP loan for not having a business. So I'm sorry, but you were already at the office.
Well, I heard they're filming in mid-October. So there's still time. Like, could you imagine Sheree getting arrested during that season? Then it would be must watch. I can totally see the producers tipping off the feds just to get a plot line out of Sheree.
I wonder if that's what they did to Jen Shah.
I can see it. Especially how, if you saw the last episode, Meredith went all Candy Burris on Jen Shah. I'm gonna drag you in this bitch. She was mad. That's the most emotion I've ever seen from her.
I wish she would drop this. Oh my goodness, you're hurting my child. Honey, he is grown enough and he is playing into it. Now, if you want to be mad about her telling your marital business, I can see that emotion. But I'm sorry, that sissy is old enough to fight his own battles.
Right. I've said it ad nauseum that she needs to take accountability for her son trying to kiki in the confessionals. and try to like come for Jen Shaw when you know when you come for a crazy person, they gonna come at you crazy.
That is true. And you can't tell them when to stop. You think, oh, okay, I just did this. No, they're going to do this and that and that and that. They're going to wake up every day like Kenya Moore with you on their mind. Because Kenya Moore is thinking about Portia's vagina more than Simon, more than Cordell, definitely, more than Dennis. It lives rent free there. Actually, she should probably send Porsha a check for how much she thinks about her.
Well, our last bit of Atlanta tea is Nene might make an appearance on season 14. They're saying that since Marlo is still friends with her, they're thinking of trying to get Nene Leakes to film with her, maybe like a scene or two. And that would be kind of like an olive branch extended to Bravo. Because you know how the network used to hate Jill? I mean, particularly Andy Cohen used to hate Jill. But then her husband died, and now they wanted to grab the interaction between her and Bethany because they didn't speak, and Bethany went to Jill's husband's funeral. So that's how she kind of got back into Bravo. And now she's on like one of the girls' trip for season 2.
Oh, that would be smart of Nene. Extend the olive branch. You know, you can talk about what you've been through, like you said, just with Marlo, maybe not with all of the girls, so that it's not people you're like, ooh, I can finally get at her. And then maybe we could see if that's interesting enough for you to come back. Because she brought it for years. And if she could be in a better place, like, you know, maybe an appearance this year, friend of the show next year, who knows? She could be holding a peach in 3 years. We're going to be watching these people die. This is never going to end. Like, I'm already, like, you think everybody says, oh, cancel the franchise. They might cancel Dallas, but it's going to pop up in Houston. This show is like herpes. You ain't getting rid of it.
I know she misses the check. Like, I know she don't get paid like $1 to $3 million anymore for a TV show. Like, I know Lanithia is doing good. Like I'm about to say her warehouse. It's a club, right? It's a club. Her club is doing okay, but it's not doing okay to the point of making $3 million in a year, I would say.
I mean, they charging $20 for parking next to Staples, so you never know.
Because she really has to show up there every single night for it to be packed. Because people know they're going to see her. So it really depends if she's there.
And I wouldn't want to see her when, like, I know she had been going through, but like, okay, then stay home. Don't come out and be funky.
Right, I agree.
And she's been known to be funky long before Greg was sick.
Exactly.
So it's like, I don't know if I'd want to run into you. I'd want to run into you on camera where I know I'm going to get front stage Nene, like maybe in an interview or something. And I ain't going to try to shade you. No, I'm just going to have you on to shade other people because I already know you're going to shut down and it's not going to be cute. She gives me a walk-off tea.
She definitely does. She like walks off if she don't like a scene. Like that's what she was doing.
A moose in migration. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from achieving your goals? I've definitely had problems holding myself accountable. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional therapy done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise available, which may not be locally available in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist, and you'll get timely, thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches so they make it easy and free to change therapists if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit their website and read their testimonials that are posted daily. Visit betterhelp.com/roast, that's BetterHelp, and join the over 2 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states. Special offer for our Pop Roast listeners. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/roast. So we have some more Wendy Williams updates. So they were supposed to start the premiere October 4th. And guess what? They pushed it back to October 18th.
I heard Nick Cannon might take over their slot if she pushes it back again.
Yes. So here's the message that they left. They said Wendy will not be returning with new shows on October 4th. She has been and continues to be under a doctor's care and is still not ready to return to work. We plan to return with new shows on October 18th. I think with that particular sentence, I think new shows will be new shows with the new hosts, but we'll see. But she said her breakthrough case is no longer an issue and she has tested negative, but she's still dealing with some ongoing medical issues. Again, I don't think she's going to make it on the 18th. I really don't.
I think it would be best for her mental health if she didn't. She doesn't need the money. So it's not like, oh, we're putting you out in the street and you're still Wendy Williams. You can work again when you're better, but let yourself heal. You're attaching yourself to all these machines every day, living in that hideous Black apartment. Maybe you need to get some fresh country air and a different perspective on life.
But then the sources are coming out saying that she is over it and she could very well withdraw from the deal. Basically, there's no contract for her after 2022. So I think it's a done deal. Like this is going to be her last season regardless of how she's doing.
Okay, that's also why I could see them sliding Nick Cannon into the slot and maybe pushing her to a different hour if she does come back to finish her contract. I also feel like that's a story that, who's that sissy that actually runs the show? Norman, I was going to say Jonathan. I knew it was something with an N. I think he put that out so that, oh no, Wendy's just tired of it. She's just being a diva and, to dispel the fact that this woman is probably not doing weller than we think.
Yeah, they said she feels, allegedly she's stressed out and not ready to return to set. They also said they saw bruised legs as she sat in a wheelchair while being pushed by her assistant last week.
Her legs have been bruised for the past 2 years. She talked about it in the movie and the documentary. We saw the machine, so I'm like, why are y'all shocked about that?
Oh.
Like, those haven't been doing well for a moment. Sorry to her troubles.
Right.
But that's not new news.
Well, they said that usually they renew her contract years in advance. And in 2019, I think they renewed it until 2022. So for them not to have another deal in place is very strange. So I think this is going to be her last season regardless now.
I am surprised that they renewed her for as long as they did, because that was right after she had fallen out.
Yeah. But this was before her divorce, though.
That's true.
So
she was able to keep that nonsense under wrap for almost 30 years.
Oof. But yeah, I hope that, she gets better. Place your bets now, y'all. Like, I don't think she's going to be on the October 18th. And where does September go?
September always comes and goes like a fart. It's amazing how a month that is 31 days will seem like 35, and September will seem like 2 weeks. Now, October will go on and on and on.
Well, October's a fun month.
That's true. You've got a lot of parties, you've got pumpkin spice, you've got apple cider, and then it's just a countdown to Thanksgiving.
Yes, there's also fall in general in New York especially. I want to go apple picking and at a winery.
Oh,
I want to do that.
I could pick one apple and I would eat that one, but I don't know about multiple. Maybe, I could get enough to make a pie. I would do that. Mm-hmm. I would really feel like, I make the dough from scratch. I could take a day and do that.
I'd probably try to make an appletini or something.
Oh,
like a fresh appletini.
With a little fruit puree?
Yes. And with like the slice of apple on top of the martini.
What else do they have at wineries if they've got the fruit, wine, like, oh, charcuterie. It's the month of charcuterie.
Or like how Giselle pronounced it. Remember how she said she's like charcuterie? Charcuterie. At least she didn't say charcuterie.
And I don't know if you can call trays from Target charcuterie.
What a dynamic episode. That was one of the best episodes of Potomac I've ever seen.
I did my review late last night.
Coming, y'all. Alex is okay. Stop messaging me about it.
Why do they message you? If you want to know if I'm okay, ask me. Ask me. I'm right here. You've got my Instagram. You can comment on YouTube. I am here. You've got my email. You could write it in a letter, babe. Ask me. Don't bother him. Because then you're going to make him worry about me. And he's like, you're fine, right? I've been fine.
I don't want you to be like a hot topic like Wendy. That's all. Where is Alex? We've seen him, but unlike Wendy, our contract has been renewed. That is no shade. That is no
shade. Facts are facts. That's not a read, that's a fact.
Exactly.
But now I'm going to have to read. Speaking of October, one of my favorite scary movie production companies, Blumhouse, they're going to join forces with Tyler Perry. This is like watching someone shit on your wedding cake.
That is very specific.
I mean, Blumhouse movies, I'm trying to think of one like right off the top of my head because I'm like, I've watched them 1,000 times. Insidious, the Conjuring series, Halloween Kills.
Like, you saw?
Yes. Like they do real horror. Like they are respected in the genre. It's like you don't even talk to a Tyler Perry. Like you might rub elbows at an award show, but you don't work together. It's a different level of quality. I mean, the wigs and the writing alone, he brings nothing to the table. Maybe his studios, I would say Rent the Man Studios, he got that. Not even the studios don't impress me. I don't know what they do because they filmed some of Marvel movies at his studios. That looked good. But when he gets in there on Bra and Sisters, it looks a hot, stinking fool. I mean, a hot, cheap, unpainted drywall Gabrice and Gabrici's house fool. Like maybe you should be doing the shooting in the tent rather than in the building, like they did this week on Potomac, having a housewarming party with no house. You said I'm out Sheree. At least we got into Sheree's house. You said tenant.
I think what they have in common is Blumhouse as well as Tyler Perry Productions. Like they're both under New Line Cinema, I think.
So New Line is forcing them to work together?
Well, I think they want to. I mean, Tyler Perry, money talks still. Don't matter how you got it.
I feel like that would destroy the brand. Like they've established such a high regard in the horror industry. It's like you're gonna lower yourself to work with this for a few more shekels and your film catalog, you're fine. You don't need a boost. You're not a fledgling company. Mm-hmm. I could see it if it was somebody we had never heard of and you just stepping on the scene and you need that street cred. You're the one with the cred. And now I'm questioning your credibility because this is a poor choice. I mean, Tyler Perry has gone from writing funny plays and being a drag queen. Then he tried to be a sex symbol, and now he thinks he's a writer. I need him to get it right. I need him to go back to theater, go back to drag, and get it right. He should be, now maybe if him and RuPaul were getting together, I could see that because it's the same level of quality.
Well, he started out as a writer writing those plays, to be fair.
He started out as a drag queen creating a character, but I'll say there was some writing involved.
But moving on, Have you heard about this Denzel story that Ellen Pompeo has been saying? And a lot of people are coming after her now just because of her experience with Denzel. You know, we love Denzel. Everybody does. So now they're calling her like all type of racist and stuff. This white woman going after a black man. Have you heard the story?
I have heard the story.
She was giving a story to this magazine, and she was talking about an incident where I think this was did you ever watch Grey's?
No,
Oh.
I like interesting shows.
Well, Grey's was the shit. Like seasons 1, I want to say 1 through 8. I kept up that long. But anyway, she was covering an important episode. So she improvised dialogue while Denzel was directing an episode. And then she said that Denzel like went ham on my ass. He was like, I'm the director. Don't you tell me what to do. And then Pompeo was like, listen, motherfucker, this is my show. This is my set. Who are you telling? So we didn't get through it without a fight, but that's actors for you. Passionate and fury, and that's where you get the magic, and that's where you get the good stuff. So it was an amazing experience. It really was. And she clarified that she has the utmost respect for him. So here's the thing. I think that she shouldn't have said that story because you know how contrarian social media can be now. For people to like imply that Ellen Pompeo is like a racist or problematic, if you know her, she is very woke. And I'm not going to say just because she's married to a black person that, you know, absolves her for anything, but she has done the work and she's walked the walk. And I think a lot of actors can stand behind that.
There was some really good TikToks about how she's said stupid things in the past.
Well, all white people do.
But this one with Denzel, I'm like, there's a level of, I agree with you that she shouldn't have told it. And here's why. Unless you've been on a set for 12 hours and created a character for 10 years and dealt with rotating directors, there was a way for him to speak to her, right, where it's like, okay, that was good. Now, can we get it with the original line? And then you're not going to start as much of a fight. It's like, okay, let's compare and contrast. It's supposed to be, you know, a collaboration. So he came at her crazy. She fired back crazy. She is right. Actors do that. Like, you've been on set for 12 hours. You're tired. You're cranky. You want to go home. You've said this maybe 20 times. You've gone over it in table reads. So you're sick of the material. So everybody is at their wits' end when you're on set. Everybody's nice to each other for the first 6 hours. The second 6 hours are hell.
Right, I agree. I mean, I think people are looking at the optics of it, of this white woman calling out a black man, and it's not that to me. Now, the tea that I have is, I know someone that met Denzel, and they said he's an asshole in real life. And that's not the first time I've heard that he's an asshole in real life. So I wasn't surprised when I heard that story.
I wasn't surprised either, and that's all I've heard too. And that he cheats with Sanaa Lathan.
I did not hear that. Allegedly. Allegedly. Because
allegedly.
He's an asshole, so let's make sure we say allegedly.
Yeah, that I said I heard. I didn't say you did.
I'm team Ellen Pompeo. I don't think she meant it like that, but we all say we want the behind the scenes tea, and then when we get it, you know, you get this type of reaction.
Well, since we're on the topic of white women, I have a question for you. When did Adele become Black?
She was never Black.
She is now.
What?
I'm sorry, look at this photo.
Oh.
If that ain't Tina Marie realness, I mean, I'm sorry, like, you could see Beyonce taking the same picture. I'm not saying she's blackfishing. I'm just like, wow, you didn't just bite Beyonce style. You sat down and ate the whole pie.
Well, that's another unproblematic white woman. I've met Adele twice, and she is lovely. So nice.
I want to meet Black Adele. I would have gone to a white Adele concert, but I want to meet Black Adele. This looks like a girl you'll smoke a joint with.
Yeah, she's the one that was rapping Nicki Minaj Monster. Pull up in the youngster automobile, youngster. Like, she was doing all that. Did you see that clip?
No.
Yeah, there's a clip of her doing the Monster verse. And I'm all up in the bank with the funny face. Like, she was doing all of that.
Okay, I need to see this.
It's so good. She was going off.
All right, well, go Adele.
Another non-problematic white woman, Britney Spears. She's this close to her freedom now. Like, they suspended her dad from being her conservator.
Good for her. Let that woman live her life in peace.
Yes, 13 years of not being able to make your own decisions regarding your life. That is a prison sentence.
Yes, and it also sounded like childhood. We went through that enough, didn't we? It's like you go through it once and it's like, it's kind of necessary because you can't make your own decisions.
I just can't leave with just her own dad, like her own family.
It's always your own family.
You got a point.
99% of the time, it's them. When you get murdered, who are they going to look at? They going to look at your family, your spouse first, your family second, then your friends. It is those closest to you.
Always. So, TV news. You need to watch Clickbait. That's this one show. That's like, it's 8 episodes, I want to say, 8 or 9. Then everyone is talking about Squid Games. I finished it this week. It's so good. Like, it's like Parasite meets Hunger Games.
Okay, well, that sounds scary enough for an October special coverage.
Yes. It's the #1 show on Netflix ever.
Oh, wow.
And it came out 2 weeks ago. When Netflix has a hit, they have a hit.
But boy, they got a lot of misses.
Yeah, I just like those type of series now where it's just like 8 or 9 episodes and we're done.
Well, speaking of being done, Garcelle is on the fence about joining Housewives for season 12.
I don't believe that because she said she was on the fence last season and she came back.
That was her first. This is her second, but I could see her not wanting to be associated with too much mess. And I feel like this Erica thing, it's like, I don't know how messy we're going to get next season. And none of these heifers are coming after me. But if any of them tried, I would not enjoy it. And she knows, unlike them, I'm not going to get as many deals if I come off as an angry Black woman. They can scream, shout, and do all this, and they're fine. They'll still get their sponsorships. It'll knock down the less money that I'm already making against them.
I think she's staying, and I think they're going to pay to keep her to stay because the combination of her and Sutton is really moving the show forward, in my opinion.
They are the two honest ones on the show, where they're like that conversation they were having with Erica when everybody was just like, we're supposed to believe this? Garcelle and Sutton were both giving retracto head, not saying anything. Oh, and when Gar said, girl, don't do it. I was like, they friends.
Yeah, like they can drop Dorit, they can drop Crystal.
Oh, please, is Crystal even there? She's the technical definition of an afterthought. I would say she takes it too far, where like when she made Sutton cry, it was like, this is just you being really mean to someone who's clearly mentally fragile. That's not entertaining. Now go after Renna. Go after somebody who's gonna go toe to toe with you. You ain't said shit. Not one word out of your mouth to any of the ladies but Sutton because you knew you could pick on her. That makes you weak and unintelligent, and it doesn't make for good television. For the better part of our lives, our ladies have been thinking about the large diamond wedding ring that they're going to have. Cushion cut, clarity, color, what material it's going to be. We never really thought about that, us men. We never had that opportunity. It was always just a simple gold band for us, but not anymore. Manly Bands is here to rescue our fingers from dull gold bands. We can get something a little more sparkly or a little more subdued. Manly Bands offers you the same wedding ring options that your spouse gets. You get to sit down and look for something beautiful that speaks to you.
So this is the band that I chose. It's called The Storyteller. I love how the ring is designed as a little silver, the platinum in the middle with the black on the outside. That's how I chose it. So once I got started, I basically got the app that has like a manly ring sizer to ensure that my ring fit perfectly while I'm at work or while I'm out. So once you know your size, that's time for the fun part. They have an insane selection of materials to choose from: gold, wood, antler, steel, dinosaur bone, and even the meteorites that killed them. You can also choose from curated collections like the Jack Daniel's Whiskey Barrel Collection. And if you're feeling even more creative, you can customize your band from scratch, choosing the style, material, inlay, sleeve, and finish. Once you've selected your band, Manly Bands offers free shipping worldwide, a 30-day exchange policy, and a free warranty. So while there might be a 50% chance of your marriage working out, there's a 100% chance that you're going to love your band.
To order your manly band and get 21% off plus a free silicone ring, go to manlybands.com/roast. That's manlybands.com/roast for 21% off. Manly Bands, the best damn rings, period. In Skeezer news, Fizz gives a public apology to Omarion for his public relationship with April Jones.
That happened so long ago. Who cares?
Well, Love and Hip Hop Hollywood must be filming, so they're trying to get the band back together because ain't nobody made no money for the past 2 years. Omarion was the one out there doing all the concerts, and he's the one who put Fizz off the tour. He said nobody came to see you, Otis.
Well.
So I guess now Fizz had to apologize so that people can not say Omarion is a punk, because they all gonna have to get on the stage together to keep their mortgages paid, or rather their rents. And just to clarify, I am not making fun of renting. I am making fun of people who had millions of dollars and do not own property. I'm making fun of a poor choice. Because I rent. Have I had millions of dollars? No. Hundreds of thousands? No.
Fair. And while we're on Love and Hip Hop, and it's Hollywood too, so Ray J has been sparking speculation that he's ready to divorce Princess again. So he sparked speculation that he may have called it quits with his wife again after he wiped his Instagram account clean. But what raised people's eyebrows is in his bio, he declared that he is separated and single. Leave us alone. We don't care.
We're sick of this revolving door marriage. I mean, y'all can't get good for getting bad. It's been every 10 minutes with y'all. We're moving to Vegas. Then they were in Miami this season for Love and Hip Hop. Then they're in Atlanta for Love and Hip Hop. You need that plot line. And you're not going to let Erica and Safari outsad you. So, Princess Love is always going to be looked at the long-suffering wife. But I don't know why she's staying there, because she can't get a business off the ground. So what you gonna do when he leaves, when he actually pulls the trigger? I'm gonna need her to get it together, because you're gonna be fighting hard for that Scooty bike money. Because her plot line on Love and Hip Hop was she spent $100,000 on a nail salon that never opened.
Oh, yeah.
A normal person can say that. You have too many people with business acumen around you for me to believe that's possible.
He has those Raycon earbuds, though.
Exactly. It's like he knows how to run a business. So, Princess, maybe you're just lazy.
Moving on to someone that's not lazy, Ashanti has acquired her masters. That is hand claps for her. She is fully independent, and now she plans on re-recording the debut album. I'm not sure if that's necessary, because the debut album is fine how it is.
Yeah, and if she has the masters, then she has the rights to it, because the whole reason Taylor Swift re-recorded her stuff is because that guy bought her masters and she was mad about it. And so, but if you got your masters, now you can license your music, and that's where the real value is, putting it in music and TV shows. And you've got some hits. So Maybe to remind us that she can still sing. I mean, we know, but like maybe it's just if I sing this old stuff, I can get the feel again. But can't you do that at the house? I wouldn't mind a new Ashanti album.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna save this clip for future reference. And when she comes out with a new album, I'll be like, okay.
No, I will listen to it. Ashanti had always been one of my favorite singers. I had all three. I had Ashanti, the first album, Chapter 2. Oh my goodness. Do, 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 do. I like the intro. Like I loved all of it. Chapter 2 was damn near a playthrough. The Declaration I messed with. Yeah, it was a little, but it was like, okay, it was a weird time for everybody. It was that '07 crash, but the Declaration had some hits. But then, child, Braveheart, it was you went independent and didn't know what you was doing. Now you've given it a few years. Now Say Less, you should have sung less on that one. That was too young for you.
Well, my point is, I think it makes sense now because since she's an independent artist and then redoing her debut album, she knows people will, like, I think her fans will buy it. And now that she's independent, she gets most of the earnings from that. Which from her debut album, when it first came out, I'm sure she didn't get the majority of the earnings.
That's true. It'll probably help her with streaming rights. And I mean, the streaming coin seems so small, but every little bit helps. Because they're getting like a third of a cent for every song.
That is crazy.
I don't even think it's a third of a cent. It's like a third of a cent's hey penny.
So we're moving to court. And we had some good news last week that, because I know you don't hear this name on Pop Roast a lot, and it was on purpose, but R. Kelly has been found guilty on all counts. All 9 counts, including racketeering, bribery, and extortion.
They gonna throw the book at him, and I don't care. Throw the book so hard he loses an eye, like that guy from Immature with Brandy.
Jesus. Yeah, he deserves to be in jail for the rest of his life. I don't even like reading those quotes from his court case. It is some sick shit. And it's crazy that all this has happened in like the 90s, like 30 years ago, like till now. Like finally.
I remember because this was a plot line of like my late teens, early 20s. Because that's when the video came out and I was 18 and I am now 38. 20 years for them to get justice, but I'm glad that they did. I wish it hadn't happened, but I'm glad that they did.
Right. Oh, we have another person. Dina Lohan is going to jail.
Nobody, Lohans are still gone Lohan. No matter what's going on in the world, panorama or not, Lohan's gone Lohan. Let me guess, it was a DUI?
Ding, ding, ding. Dina, 59, was previously arrested in January 2020 following a vehicle collision in Long Island. She later pleaded not guilty to driving while intoxicated. At the time, she had been charged with drunk driving, unlicensed operator, unregistered operator, leaving the scene of an accident, and several other violations of the vehicle traffic law in conjunction with the felony charge of drunk driving. Ooh, she's sentenced to 18 days in jail and 5 years probation.
Oh, and she's gonna mess up on that probation. That 5 years probation, you go on and take the full 6 months. You take the full 6 months for DUI because 5 years is Dina Lohan gonna be able to stay clean, stay on the straight and narrow for 5 years? No, I'm just waiting for Michael Lohan to come out with some fraud information because you know they're gonna get him next. You know he got a PPP loan.
Yeah, so regardless, she was facing 5 years probation, but it was like the 6 month sentence that she dodged. So now it's just 18 days. She's also required to participate in the Victim Impact Panel and alcohol probationer program.
Did she hit somebody's car? It sounded like she hit somebody's car, tried to drive away, and then her tire just gave out, and it was just riding on sparks for a good 2 miles. It was a slow police chase, and they said, "We white, so we ain't gonna charge you with resisting arrest."
Exactly. Now, you know, if that was a black woman, she would have been sentenced to 5 years.
Yep.
And now our main story, Will Smith puts out his business. Did you hear about that?
No.
Everybody is talking about it. Yeah, so Will Smith has confirmed a lot of things in his interview.
Like his relationship with Dwayne Martin?
No.
And he ain't said shit.
He confirmed finally that they have an open marriage. So he opened up about his open marriage in a new interview with GQ magazine. According to Smith, him and Jada Pinkett had to have many significant, endless discussions about what is relational perfection. Can they just leave us alone? Like, if they want a divorce, get a divorce. You know, I'm glad that people are moving forward with different types of relationships because not all relationships have to be monogamous. That's okay. But
at least be honest about it, because a whole bunch of them ain't monogamous anyway. You just don't know.
But we've heard so much of Jada's business. And she's going to the table. She's even brought herself to the table. So now it's Will's turn. So he didn't say exactly who he was with, but he said that for the large part of our relationship, monogamy was what we chose, not thinking of monogamy as the only relational perfection. It seems the power couple made the decision in 2011 after much arguing. Marriage for us can't be a prison, and I don't suggest our road for anybody. But the experiences, that the freedoms that we've given one another and the unconditional support to me is the highest definition of love. During the 24-year marriage, he confirmed that both he and Jada have engaged in sexual relationships outside of their marriage. Quote, "We have given each other trust and freedom with the belief that everybody has to find their own way."
And he found his way with Dwayne because Dwayne was living up in their house just like August. Just like August. They moved their people in.
He said that his attractions to other people outside of his marriage caused him a lot of guilt at first due to his Christian upbringing. He had to work.
People and Christian upbringing. Listen to the key words, people. Listen to the key words.
He had to work to reprogram his mind to understand that it was okay to think Hallie is fine. It doesn't make me a bad person that I'm married and I think Hallie is beautiful. Halle Berry, for those of you who don't know. Whereas in my mind, in my Christian upbringing, even my thoughts were sin.
Sounds like he's being coy with it, but Dwayne was living there. That's all I'm gonna say. You gave Dwayne $1 million. That's all I'm gonna say. Dwayne got the August Alsina treatment in all the other ways, but you didn't get that pussy. I got a bridge to sell you right out here. If that's true, I got a bridge to sell you. It's a big red one.
Jada got so much backlash. Like, it was last year, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think at the same time, they were messing with other people. So I'm not sure why Will didn't come to the forefront and be like, hey, it was okay with me. But I'm thinking he didn't know, like the way he was reacting.
I think he knew. I think he just likes to play it coy, and she likes to tell her business. And also, it got people interested in the show. It was a great topic, helped put the brand on the map, helped keep her name out there. I wish she'd do movies again. I like her as an actress.
Girls Trip 2 is coming, though, at some point.
Oh, good.
Did you see his photo shoot for a GQ interview? Like, he had the goatee, like the long goatee without the mustache. He looked crazy and it aged him. He looked like D.L. Hughley.
Ooh.
Like, I was like, Will Smith is fine. Why did he mess with his facial hair?
Sometimes people like to try things that are new and stupid.
But yeah, at least this confirms that I have a chance, at least, you know, if I'm interested.
This is why he ain't tell nobody, because everybody gonna be like, let me shoot my shot. That poor man's DMs would be so full he couldn't use his account.
Like, fuck Anderson Cooper. I mean, Will Smith, Lenny Kravitz, look.
Anderson Cooper is too cheap.
He's too cheap. What do you mean?
He's cheap. Andy said it. He is very, very cheap. He's one of those rich people that's afraid of going broke. So he didn't have to spend nothing. So I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm going to be with you and you're rich. We're going to live like we're rich. I'm going to show you how to live. Besides, you're dying first. So I'll make sure there's enough for me.
And Jada and Will has just told us so much of their business. Like, what else is there left to tell?
The Dwayne secret, and that's about it.
That is about it. But I feel like they both dabble. Like, I feel like they're both bisexual, which nothing is wrong with that. But let's just call a spade at this point. I mean, y'all already told us all of their business without us even asking for it.
Like, yeah, nobody did an investigation. Nobody put your stuff in the street but you. You carried that box out front. We didn't go in the garage and go up to the crawl space and really look through your stuff. None of that happened. We were just walking by your house. Hey, I ate some pussy once. Like waving in the street at us. We're driving by, like we stop, we think you telling us something important. And that's what's going on. It's like, all right, good for you. Right. I gotta get to the store. Is that all you had to say? I gotta get to the store. All right.
Right. Well, I'm going to do a little bit of promotion right quick. And speaking of people's business, I'm going to have a new show called Chris's Business on my Patreon, coming soon.
And you'll find the link. Wait, is there a link going to be below?
I have the link, but I'm going to drop the link maybe next week, on next week's episode.
Okie dokie. All right, y'all get ready for Chris's Business.
Chris's Business. I'm not sure if I want to start every episode like that.
Why not?
Maybe. I was just like, it has to be called Chris's Business. It has to. We came up with that, didn't we?
We did. We're the only ones who have ever said it.
Okay. But yeah, Patreon coming soon, y'all. And it'll be $1 for the first month. Well, y'all, I guess that was our show. Please comment below. We will see you sooner than my chances with Will Smith.
And we'll see you sooner than my fucks for Jada's Business.